What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Nerd Show. Today we're looking at the Star Wars Black Series Walmart exclusive Bad Batch figures. So these are 4 figures that were released exclusively at Walmart that go with our Bad Batch wave. So we have the Bad Batch designs with the sides of the box that, can put them all together in a collage. But we do have these 4 at least, which look really cool. And these are all like your kind of additional characters just thrown in, not any of your actual Bad Batch members itself, per se. But first up, we've got Captain Rex, the way he appeared in the show. So where he's kind of undercover now, but still has his clone armor on. Then we have the Imperial version of Crosshair, so we got the normal Crosshairs already, so we have the Imperial version where he's all in the Elite Trooper outfit, which is cool. We have a Shock Trooper, which I love the Shock Troopers, I just think they're awesome. And then we have Vice Admiral Rampart, which we didn't really see as much in the show as I thought we would, but it's cool that they did make a version of him as well to go in here with our Bad Batch. So all very cool looking figures that I'm excited to check out. So let me go ahead and get them open and out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Captain Rex as he appears in the Bad Batch. So Captain Rex is a former clone commander of the 501st and the second in command under Anakin Skywalker. And in the Bad Batch series, he learns that Clone Force 99 members were unaffected by Order 66, and he went to meet with them at Sid's parlor. And from there, him and the Bad Batch went to Bracca to use one of the Star Destroyers to remove the inhibitor chips from the rest of the Bad Batch members so they would not be affected. So we see Rex here in his Phase 2 clone armor, but the one real difference with this compared to like our other figures is that he does have a Phase 1 helmet visor on his head, and then he also has a cloak over him to help hide his clone armor. But I think he looks pretty cool. Of course, they made him all dirty and grimy and everything, so you can see the paint all over his legs and stuff, like the dirt color all over him. But other than that, he's pretty much going to be the exact same as the other Rexes we've had, which I will show you in a second. But then, as mentioned, he does have like this cloak on over the top, so he's got this cloak material and everything. Got a little hood piece on the back, but it's a nice brown cloak with some green designs on it, and again, it looks all dirty as well. But other than that, he's pretty much just your normal Rex in the 501st blue armor. So we can go ahead and pop the helmet on to see his face, and of course, it does look like he has the face printing because it does look like Tamora Morrison there, so I like that they did that. So it is supposed to be from a Bad Batch, so cartoon and everything, but they do have that realistic looking face on there. But with that, we can do the movements, so the head there can twist side to side. There is some issues probably with the thickness of the cloak and its armor itself, but it does have that movement side to side, and they can look down that far and up that far, so not bad overall for the limitations. The shoulders can come up 90 degrees and rotate around within there. We do have a bicep twist up in there, but then we got the double elbow joint that bends up that far, and the wrist can twist around and flex up and down for this hand. Up in there, he's got an ab crunch, so he crunch forward, crunch back, so a little bit of crunching there, but twist side to side as well. And then we get the hips that can come up 90, especially if you twist them out to get that armor out of the way, so come up 90 degrees there, out to the side that far. Of course, that thigh twist in there, the double knee joint that bends up that far in the back, and then the foot can rock back and forth and twist side to side. So overall, not bad at all. It's got pretty decent movements, of course, some limitations, but he does have clone armor on, so that's kind of expected. And so you can see the differences. Here is that older Captain Rex, so without the cloak on it and everything, so you can't see. Otherwise, they're going to be the exact same armor again, just with that brown on top of it. But there you can see the updating with the face prints and everything. Now, I don't remember what this Rex is from. I assume it's like a newer version that we got, like they remade and stuff. The face on it's not bad either. It does look like the actor, but there you can see there is a difference in the face prints, and there you can see them with their helmets on, so a little bit differences in the helmet. So the older one does have some of that red design in there with those lines, where this one is now more of a blue color. And then of course it does have that visor piece up on its head. One difference though is that the helmet on this one is much easier to get on and off, where this one's like super tight, and I feel like I'm gonna almost pop the head off every time I do it, where this one just easily slides right off and everything, and it's a little bit loose on his head, unfortunately. But either way, it's not too bad. I of course like the normal looking Rex without the cloak and everything, which you can probably take the cloak off if you pop the head off and get this slid off and everything. Probably not too bad to get off, so you can have just a normal Captain Rex, just he'd be all dirty this time. But overall, not a bad look at all for him, and I do like the cloak design. I think they did a good job with like getting it to lay flat and not sticking up too much or anything, so they did a good job there. And of course, he comes with his DC-17 blaster pistols, the normal pistols for the clone commanders and everything. So he does have some holsters under the cloak on his legs there, so you can put them in, but let's go and just put him in his hands. And there we got Rex kitted out with his gun, so that looks pretty awesome overall for the Captain Rex from the Bad Batch. And next up, we've got the Imperial version of Crosshair, which was a clone commando of Clone Force 99 with the genetic mutation of exceptional eyesight, making him the sniper of the group. And we see in the show he's the only Bad Batch member that is affected by Order 66, so he turns against his Bad Batch teammates. And we see in the show that Governor Tarkin gives him orders to take out his former team, but by the end of the season, he works along with the Bad Batch just during the bombardment of Camino till they are safe at the end, but he remains with the Empire. So we see him here in the Elite Squad Trooper armor, so in this all like black or really dark gray armor, and he has more of that Stormtrooper look to him, so he's got the Phase 2 helmet, of course, like I said, with more of that Stormtrooper face design in, and it's all awesome with like the green visor and then the little green dots there at the bottom. Still has the viewfinder and everything that can come down, so that's pretty awesome. And then he's got a lot of similarities with his original Katarn class armor. He still has like the little shoulder pauldron piece with the spike on it, but the rest of it's starting to look more like the elite troopers and everything, so it looks very cool. And I will bring in the original one so you can see those similarities, but it is almost the Bad Batch version, just repainted. But overall looks really good. I like the belt design with the silver and stuff, really stands out, and it has a holster there on his leg, and just overall looks really good. So I really like this design, just the color and stuff. The silver stands out against most of the black, and then that green design there. But of course we can pop his helmet off as well, which is really hard to get off, but there's the face of Crosshair. So again, does look realistic there. So again, based off cartoon, but has that realistic look to it. But I think he looks pretty good there with his white hair. Has the Crosshair logo there on his eye and everything, and looks just pretty mad. But overall, very nice looking figure, I think. So for movements, head there can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so not too bad at all. Shoulders can come up 90 degrees, and there is a little bit of a butterfly joint there, it's just pretty stiff, and they can rotate all the way around. And if you notice on his shoulder pads as well, it just still has the Clone Force 99 logo on it there, so that's funny. But he's got the single elbow joint that bends 90 degrees with the rotation, and the wrist can twist around and flex up and down. He's got the ab crunch and twist in the midsection, so crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty decent crunching, and can twist all the way around. The hips can come up 90, especially twisting out a little bit there, off to the side, thigh twist of course, the single knee joint that bends 90 with the rotation, and the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. And if we bring in the Bad Batch version of Crosshairs, you can see the similarities there, especially with armor. So the chest plate is a little bit different with designs, just has like the square design on it this time, but overall it's pretty much the exact same armor, just repainted this time. As you can see, a lot of the similarities in there. And then there's the faces as well, a little bit of difference, but mostly look pretty similar to each other. And for accessories like that other Crosshair, we get a lot of the same weapons. So first off, we get his backpack. So his backpack that can hold his sniper rifle and everything, but we can just pop this right into his back. And like a lot of the clones, he does have the DC-17 blaster, so like Rex, so we have that, but let's go and just stick this into his holster. So that just sits right in there. And of course, being Crosshair, we have to have a sniper rifle. So we have his 773 Fire Punch sniper rifle, of course, in the two pieces here, which with this you can put into his backpack. So you can just take this piece and slide it in the slot there, and then there's the hole there with the little peg, so you can just pop this in there. But let's go and put the gun together and put it into his hands. So there we have Crosshairs with his sniper rifle, and that looks awesome. And then finally we can bring in one of the other elite squad troopers, so more what his armor is supposed to be based off. So you can see somewhat similarities like with colors and stuff, especially like the green visor and everything, but obviously they are different because Crosshair is even better. So he looks really awesome here in the all black outfit, but of course I just like the normal version. Crosshair is much better. And then we've got the Imperial Shock Trooper, which is a highly skilled clone trooper deployed on Coruscant and tend to serve as security, police, bodyguard, and peacekeepers. But this one specifically, the one we see that escorts Tarkin to Kamino to oversee the transition from the clones to the new stormtroopers. So he looks pretty awesome here. I always love the look of Shock Troopers, especially with the red and everything. That's always one of my favorite troopers. But we see him here in the Phase 2 armor, so it looks pretty awesome. You know, in Phase 2, of course, because of the helmet that looks more like the stormtrooper. But I think he looks awesome with all the red. Everything's got red stripes, red pauldron, red up on the shoulders, red belt, red down the legs, and the red feet as well. So just looks super cool. Like I said, this is always one of my favorite looks of the clone troopers. And then we see, of course, has the shoulder part on the show. He's a higher rank, and I believe in the show he's called like a quartermaster or something. But overall, just has your standard clone trooper look. Just obviously this one is the red with the pauldron, but I just love the look of this so much. Now for movements, his head there can twist side to side, and you can probably get a little bit more, but of course with the shoulder piece and stuff, it makes it hard to twist, but you can get twist side to side and you look down that far and up that far, so not much movement at all. The shoulders can come up, and it does have the softer shoulder pad, so you can't get out of the way, so it can come up to 90 degrees and has the butterfly joint. Of course, can rotate around as well. We get the single elbow joint that bends to 90 degrees with the rotation, and the wrist twist around and flex up and down. Ab crunch and twist in the midsection, so crunch forward, crunch back, and twist all the way around. Hips can come up 90 with twisting the leg out to the side that far, pretty good there actually. Thigh twist, single knee joint that bends 90 with the rotation, and the foot flexes back and forth and twist side to side. So all your same movements as the newer clone troopers. And for accessories, we get your standard like clone or stormtrooper weapons. So we get the DC-15S carbine blaster, so just the little blaster, and then we also get the DC-15A rifle, so of course the clone rifle and stuff that I like. So let's put this one in his hands. So there is our Imperial Shock Trooper with his gun, and I think that looks awesome. Now unfortunately we couldn't find any of our past versions to like show comparison or anything, so I don't know if we either don't have any of the Shock Troopers or we just couldn't find them or anything, but I think he looks awesome, and I think this is a really cool figure. And our final figure is Vice Admiral Rampart, and he is an officer in the new Empire, and he's responsible for implementing chain codes, so the codes that kind of identify people, and we see that used in like the Mandalorian and everything. And he oversaw Project War Mantle that recruited conscripted soldiers into the Empire to replace the clones. And so we saw him a little bit in the Bad Batch, not as much as I thought we would with them releasing this figure and everything, so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but overall he just looks like an Imperial officer, so has the Imperial officer outfit on with the usual rank insignias there on his chest, and he's got the code canisters, everything, but has the nice silver belt with like the greenish colored outfit, the black that go up to the knees, and then there's the look of Admiral Rampart. Of course it's animated again, but still has that realistic look, and I think it looks pretty good. And for the overall looks, we do have Tarkin here as well, so you can see it's just the exact same body, just change the colors a little bit. Of course the rank is the face and everything, but I chose Tarkin because he was in the show and stuff, so I thought they'd be good here together. But overall you can't, are the exact same bodies and everything. So for moments that can twist all the way around, he can look down that far and up that far, so very little to pretty much no movements at all in the neck. Shoulders can come up under 90 degrees there and rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that bends 90 with the rotation. The wrist twist around and flex back and forth. A crunch and twist in the midsection, so crunch forward a little bit and back, very little crunching there at all, and twist side to side. The hips can come up a little bit, not as high because of the like skirting piece out to the side that far. Thigh twist up in there, a double knee joint that bends that far up in the back, and the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So overall not bad, just some limitations. And for accessories, he gets a blaster. I couldn't figure out what kind of blaster this is, but just a little blaster gun, so let's put this in his hand. And what's really cool is he also comes with an MSE droid or a mouse droid, so we get the little mouse droids finally for the Black Series, at least for us finally. So very cool that we get the little droid. It's got the wheel stuff that roll around and everything. It looks a little big, like especially compared to what you see in the show, so if we put it down, looks a little bit too big, but overall it's not too bad at all, so that's gonna be a fun little addition onto the shelf as well. So very cool overall for Vice Admiral Rampart. Well, there are the 4 Star Wars Black Series Walmart exclusive Bad Batch figures, where we got the In Hiding Captain Rex, Imperial version of Crosshair, Vice Admiral Rampart, and the Imperial Shock Trooper. All are very awesome looking figures. I definitely recommend the Shock Trooper and probably that Crosshair. The Rex would just be if you maybe missed out on the past ones, but all are very awesome. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.